So, hey, Sheri, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to go rock climbing?
Yeah.
You liar. Oh, yeah, no rock climbing or rappelling. We've done this already tonight. I ain't
Can't
doing
do it because the sign says we can't.
There was no sign at the other entrance.
Okay.
Oh, you're so smart. You're so good. I love it.
Otherwise, I'd be right up that.
Dubuque, Iowa is the hidden gem of the Midwest. It's the hidden gem of Iowa, its own state. It's sometimes the forgotten stepchild. But I also call it the Garden of Eden because it's absolutely gorgeous, and we're somewhat protected from a lot of the weather that happens in Iowa. You see, Iowa is a very flat state with a lot of corn and a lot of windmills too. Dubuque's nothing like that. I mean, we do have a lot of corn, okay, but it's not flat in any way. You see, Dubuque is located right on the corner of Wisconsin, Illinois, and Iowa, right on the Mississippi River. So, because we're on the Mississippi River, we have beautiful bluffs. And those bluffs have created rolling hills throughout the city, which has created amazing landscaping beauty. Amazing beauty. You know, these bluffs are also probably part of the reason why we are the Garden of Eden and why we're protected. Last year, a derecho hit just 60 miles west of here. Oh, massive tornadoes have hit just 40 miles west of here. But what happens when the weather's coming from the west, suddenly it splits and it goes north of us and south of us. And just this morning we were supposed to get hit. We saw the lightning and heard the thunder at 5:30 when we were on a walk. Never got the rain. It looks like maybe it could come north of us or south of us. But this is part of our beauty here in Dubuque. So what happens with this amazing beauty is we have amazing parks and trails and hiking locations. So for the first time, this past week, for the first time in 30 years, I've lived here for 30 years, for the first time I visited a new piece of this beauty. It's the Mines of Spain. Okay, I've been to the Mines of Spain before, but only pieces of it. I'd never been to the Horseshoe Bluff. Now I'm going to show you a picture here in a little bit of the Horseshoe Bluff. I've seen pictures of it. I've never found it. So this past week, my friend Sheri and I went on an adventure. We go for an adventure every week. We go for a walk every week, and we choose a different trail, a different location. And this week, she said, hey, let's try Mines of Spain. So it was like the blind leading the blind. We knew how to get there. We found the signs. But really, when it came down to it, when we got into the park, we're like, well, let's keep driving. Or, hey, this parking lot's full. Let's park here. It says lookout up ahead. Let's go to the lookout. So we got on our hike. We got to the Horseshoe Bend. Didn't realize, or Horseshoe Trail, Horseshoe Bluff, that's what it is. We didn't realize we were there yet. So we were kind of in more of a meadow. And then we saw a body of water through the trees. So there was a cute little trail. We took the trail and crossed the railroad tracks, and that cute little body of water was the Mississippi River. I saw it a little differently when it was through the trees. But it was this private beach, beautiful, calm, just amazing. Just amazing. We were already in awe. So then we got back on the trail, we kept going, and the bluffs, the trail goes between the bluffs. So the bluffs are just huge, and they're rock formations, and it truly looked like you were in Colorado. And as you get toward the end of the bluff, it kind of does this bend type of thing. I guess the river used to go through here and separate the bluffs. But then there's this bend. Well, then you can kind of climb into different levels of the bluff, second level, third level. Just a nice little kind of incline. Sometimes there were some stairs. So we did. We kept going, and we got to the lookout, and we saw there's definitely another level of the bluffs, a much, much higher level. It's like the very, very top of the bluffs. And we could see way over to the south, we could see people, like a head or two, poking above the bushes. And we're like, wow, how did people get there? Well, there's another gentleman standing there at that lookout, and he became our tour guide. He educated us and said, well, you can take the rocky cliff, which is actually the video you would have watched in the beginning of this video. Yeah, you can take that rocky climb, but that's definitely rock climbing. I'm not into it. Or back at the beginning, you kind of got to know where you're looking, but there's another trail. When you get there, there's like this fence that's been torn down, but it's more like, rock climbing at a very easy level. We're like, huh, okay. Well, we were at the end of the trail, and just around the corner was our car. It was the parking lot. That didn't take us long at all. So we grabbed some water, we grabbed our phones this time, and we said, let's do it again. Let's go find this little trail. So we did. Now we felt so confident. We're like, whoo, we know where we're going. And we did. We found the trail. We found the torn down fence. And it didn't look tough at all. So we gave it a try. We just started kind of hiking is the best way I could have described it. And then we got to like a level in it, and as soon as you get to a level, you realize you're not close to the top, so we got to go another level. And very quickly, this hike turned into long rock stepping, and then it turned into root climbing. You know those trees where the roots are above the ground and you grab them for stability? Oh yeah. Then it was root climbing, and we're kind of on our hands and our knees a little bit. We had Beau with us. Beau is Sheri's dog. So he was all over, kind of paving the way a little bit. And then we got to another level and another level and another level, and I kept looking back thinking, whew, we got to get down. And I know if we get to the top of the bluff, we could walk south or walk north on the bluff and go down those rocks we saw earlier. I'm not interested in that. So we got to get down the same way we're getting up. And it was looking steeper and steeper. And as I looked up at Sheri and Beau, that was steeper. And past them, it didn't even look like a trail or roots that we could grab a hold of. So we're at a level, and we're kind of pondering and getting our breath. And suddenly, that tour guide that we saw on the other side was above Sheri. He was sitting above her. Actually, another picture I'm going to show you shows him in the picture. We didn't even realize he was there. He was sitting above her. He was at the top. Freaked me out, really. It totally freaked me out. I kind of felt some hairs on the back of my neck starting to stand up a little bit. Well, it was kind of nice, too, because we realized where the top was and that there was a lot of challenge to get up there. And he kind of gave some pointers on, how to get down. And he said, this is the easier route to get down. So once you're up here, you'll have to get back down. And both Sheri and I are a little unbalanced when we get into heights, let's just say. And finally I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm good if we go down. Well, this tour guide decided to show us how easy it was for him to get down from the top and get down the whole path. Let's just say, yeah, the way he did it would not probably have been the way I did it because of my unbalance. But I gotta say, as soon as he started standing up, he took a jump from his top height down to where Sheri was, and then he more like jumped down, kinda, but the rocks were not sturdy. I mean, they were slippery. They were sandy, okay? I felt right away, I gripped hard on the root. I got a good grip on a root because I thought, I don't know this tour guide guy. I don't know him at all. This is just weird. I don't know where he's going, but there's no social distancing when you cross somebody on this path. Well, I mean, he was all about just showing us how fast he can get down. And he kept going, and then it was me and Sheri and Beau again. And we started our venture down. My venture down was pretty much on my butt. If I were to fall, it's a long way down from 6 feet. So I just went right down to the ground, and I pretty much was sitting and going down these rocks and roots on my butt. I don't know what Sheri did, to be honest. I didn't watch. Beau was kind of between us, and he was good. He was really good and sturdy and keeping us where we need to be. And suddenly I look up, and there's a guy coming up toward us. Not the tour guide. This is a different guy. I'm like, holy cow, this is a popular place, right? He's got a Dr. Pepper in one hand, and he's root climbing with the other hand, and very quickly, by the way. And so when he saw us and we saw him, I grabbed another root to catch my balance, and he made some comments and said, wow, I haven't been here in 6 years. He lives in Colorado, but I think he may have grown up here. He says, this has really gotten washed out. I can't believe how worn out this is. So here we are for the first time on a semi-scary path. A washed out path. And we're not equipped for it. We don't have the right equipment, the right knowledge. Well, he was all about showing us how fast he could get to the top. So he quickly passed us and kept going, and we just slowly kept our decline on our behinds. You know, safely, thankfully, safely, we got to the bottom. No scratches, no injuries. But when we did get past that broken down gate, we just looked at each other and thought, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? This is not what we need to be doing here, very unknowledgeable on a Tuesday night. I'm so thankful that we were safe. I'm so thankful that we were able to adventure in our community right here to see more of the amazing, amazing beauty. So if you're a Dubuquer, have you visited all the little nooks and crannies of our county? Have you seen all the different trails and parks and backyards? You know, if you're not a Dubuquer, well, let's just say when you're ready to take an adventure to Iowa, make sure Dubuque's on your list. I'd be happy to be your tour guide. Okay, friends, right behind me is the monument, the Julian Dubuque Monument. So in 1810, Julian Dubuque died and was buried here by the Meskwaki Indians. I'm looking at my friend Sheri because she knows. But yeah, it's so fun to look at the history. Do you know the history of your city, of your state? I live really, really close to a city called Piasta. Well, that was another friend of Julian Dubuque's. And he married an Indian girl named Potosa. And there's a city across the bridge called Potosi. I love the history. So make sure you get out, do a staycation while the weather's beautiful before winter sets in. Just learn your city. Amazing what you learn.